which blood was flowing. When he reached the king, he fainted and fell. And what do you mean by fainting? That is it, falling on the ground. Fell to the ground. The king and the hermit removed the man's clothing and found a large wound on his stomach. On the stomach there was someone had purposely put a dagger in his stomach, for sure. The king, what did the king do? Immediately the king took water in a bowl, and he washed the wound, and he tied a knot on it. What happened? And covered it with his handkerchief, with king's handkerchief. But the blood would not stop. If it is a small, what does your teacher do when you get cuts from the ground? Just what does auntie do? She just ties a towel on it, right? Now, if it is not okay, what will happen? We will just take you to the hospital. No, that is what we do. They will put a stitch there. That's what we do. Likewise, first handkerchief what he had put there, it was already wet with blood. So he tied another bandage. The king redressed, dressing again. What do you mean by dressing? Dressing means first covering the wound neatly. Next, redressing means since it was soaked in blood, it was taken and it was dressed again. Until at last the bleeding stopped. So finally the bleeding stopped. Okay. So it's under control. So once it is going on, bleeding means the man will die. And so all the blood will go through the bleed. The man felt better and asked for something. So the man was lying unconscious, So since the blood flow stopped, he was feeling a little better. He opened his eyes. Water. You have seen this in films, right? So he asked for water. Okay. The king brought fresh water and gave it to him. By this time, the sun had set and the air was cool. So it was afternoon before, now it is evening. And cool breeze means it is good climate for that man. The king went to the hermit's help, carried the wounded man into the hut and laid him on the bed. The man closed his eyes and lay quiet since he was not wet. The king, tired by his work and not by the walk alone, tired because he was working. Does a king work at any time? No, he was working only this time, I think. So he was working right from the afternoon till evening, bro. So he also felt tired and lay down on the floor and slept through the night, the whole night. They slept, both of them, this wounded man and the king. When he awoke, it was several minutes before he could remember where he was or who the strange bearded man lying on the bed was. Did you understand what happens? The king, where does the king lay? Does he lay on the ground? No, he lay on bed coats on either side, fans on either side, like that he'll sleep. When he opened his eyes, he was wondering where I am lying down, and who is this man? He was lying on the ground, right? Okay, in the hermit's house, there won't be big cots and all, no. Okay. Forgive me, said the bearded man in a weak voice. When he saw that the king was awake, so who was near him? Bearded man. He just told like this, forgive me, please. What do you mean by forgive? Please pardon me. You do not know me, but no, I do not know you and have nothing to forgive. The king asked, forgive? Why should I forgive you? I don't know you. Why should I forgive you? Then the bearded man said, you do not know me, but I know you. I am that enemy of yours who swore revenge on you, because you put my brother to death and seized my property. You understood the story? Why did the bearded man think that the other man was his enemy? The king had before, what has he done? He had seized a man's property because that man has done something wrong. And that man happens to be this bearded man's brother. So what has the king done? He has seized his property means what? See, you have 1 acre of land. You have done something wrong. What does the king do? King will seize your property so that you will have no right over the property, and whatever your debts are, he will pay from this seized property. So once you are seized means you don't have any property at all. And since this was his brother, he had a grudge against it. It was this king who made my brother bankrupt. So I'll show him who I am. Okay. I knew you had put my brother to death. And what did he do? The king has, his brother has already done something wrong. That is why the king seized his property and he has hanged him. Maybe he has done something very great wrongs. But brother relation, whatever fights you have, whatever wrongs your brother has, when someone kills means you won't leave that person, right? That is it. So here also the same thing happened. I knew, so since his brother's property was seized and he was killed, he had a grudge against the king. It was the king he did it. I'll kill him. I knew you had gone alone to see that hermit. And I made up my mind to kill you on your way home. So I was after you every day, wherever you are going. When I saw you that when I understood that you are going to the hermit, I thought, when you come back to the palace, I'll kill you from the back. Because from the front, maybe he cannot do anything but I'll kill you. Okay. I made up my mind to kill you on your way home. But the day passed means it was evening, but you did not come back. What was the king doing then? King was held up with the hermit, and hermit made him work alert. That happened. Okay. I made up my mind to kill you on your way home. But the day passed and you did not return. So I left my hiding place. So till then I was after you. I was hiding behind a big tree or something like that. And so till evening I was waiting for you. But when you did not return, I just got up from there and was coming. And I came upon your bodyguard. But when I came out from the hiding place, who happened to see me? Your bodyguard, on whom the horse was left. No, king has left his horse with somebody. No, that was his bodyguard. So this man saw this bodyguard. When the bodyguard saw this man, he understood it was this man's brother who was hanged by the king. So this man might have been waiting for the king to take his revenge. This bodyguard understood. Who recognized me and wounded me. So what did the bodyguard do? Took a sword, chick. He just wounded that man. That was why this man was wounded. I escaped. I managed to escape. Somehow I pushed him and I managed to escape from him. But I should have died if you had not. But that was why it was heavy bleeding. He was wounded by the soldier, right? Okay, so it was because of you who had bandaged me. I wished to kill you and you saved my life. It was because of you I was saved. Now, if I survive from this wood, I'll serve you as your most faithful servant and will order my sons to do the same. Okay, he said. The king was very happy to have made peace with his enemy so easily. Don't you feel it right? Huh? There is an enemy. You see, in most of the classes I see, right from the beginning there will be fighting. And some fights, even though all the teachers manage to put it right, that fight will prolong for some other period and there will be a hardened fight between both of them, like that. It didn't prolong. Okay. So the king was happy that fight ended. He did not even know that this man was an enemy, his ardent enemy. He wanted to kill me. He didn't know. Even then, that enemy has become a friend now. Now that is good, right? Okay. The king was very happy to have made peace with his enemy so easily and to have won him over as a friend. He not only forgave him but said he would send his servants and his own doctor to look after him, and he promised to give back the man his property. Whatever property he has seized, I will give it back, he told. Leaving the wounded man, the king went out of the hut and looked round for the hermit. Oh, the king's problem was yet another. He wanted answer to these three questions. Now, how will I get answers to these? And the king was searching for the hermit. Before going away, he wished once more to get answers to his questions. The hermit was on his knees. Sewing, what was the hermit doing? He was sitting on his knees and he was sewing seeds. He had made beds, earlier he had made beds, right? The king and the hermit together had made beds. In that they are sowing what? Seeds, planting seeds, okay? Before the king went up to the hermit and said, "For the last time, I beg you to answer my questions, wise man." So the wise man at last opened his mouth. King was happy. "You have already been answered." And see what a king he is. He doesn't understand. That is the beauty of Leo Tolstoy's writing. See, he was always, I told you before, he was a philosopher than a writer. See, he wanted men who were reading his story to think and be good to everybody. So the answer, he is making us also to think, how did he get the answer? Okay, said the hermit, still bending down. He did not stand up and told him, okay, son, I'll give you the answer. He did not tell like that. He told, your questions have already been answered. You did not understand that. And looking up at the king as he stood before him. So the king asked. King thought, why is he fooling me? He did not tell me the answer. Or was I sleeping? Okay. How have I been answered? What do you mean? Do you not see? Replied the hermit. If you had not pitied my weakness yesterday and had not dug these beds for me, you would have gone away. You understood? Children, while this king had come to the hermit, what was the hermit doing? He was digging. And since this king saw that the hermit was old and weak and was tired of digging, what did that king do? He offered the hermit to dig. And since he was digging from the afternoon to evening, what happened? He was going on digging. While at that time, what was the other man doing? He was waiting for the king to kill him. So that time, that was the best time for the king. Otherwise, if he had gone back, what would have happened? This man will find him. And since he had rivalry towards kings, as he had killed his brother, he would have directly killed him, right? Okay. You would have gone away, then that man would have attacked you and you would have wished you had stayed with me. Okay, you understood? So first question already answered. Right, that was the right time for the king. What was the right time? The digging was the right time. Otherwise, he would have gone to God without getting the answer. Then that man would have attacked you and you would have wished you had stayed with me. So the most important time was when you were digging the beds. So right time for the king was then digging the bed time. Otherwise, if he was not digging the bed, what would have happened? He would have gone, the other man would have found him and would have taken revenge by killing him. So, living in this beautiful world is the best time for each one. For the king, it was the right time. Okay. And I was the most important man. So, who was the most important for the king? At that time, it was the hermit, because it was the hermit who was digging. And since the hermit was weak, it was only because of that this man was helping the hermit. That was why he was not killed by the other man. So the second answer is also important person was the hermit. So afterwards, when the wise man ran to us, the most important time was when you were caring for him. If it was the important time for the for that other man, he was having the wound because the king's bodyguard had put his dagger on him, no. So for the third person, that is the king's enemy, most important time was the time when he was being dressed by the king. Otherwise, if the king had not found him and he has not dressed him, what will happen? He will die of wound, no, bleeding wound. Okay. Afterwards, okay, because if you had not dressed his wounds, he would have died without having made peace with you. So that was the right time, because he had made peace with you. Otherwise, you will have an enemy and you will not know that. So he was the most important man. And what you did for him was the most important business. Yes, you saved the other man's life. You made friends with an enemy. That was the most important business, right? Remember then, there is only one time that is important, and that time is now. It is the most important time because it's the only time when we have any power to act. So I have to tell you this to you, no? Whenever your parents tell you to study, what do you tell? Now to study in the evening, this is not the right time. In the evening, we have to have our snacks, we have to play this, that. And by the time when at night when they tell you, what will you tell? Amma, I am tired of playing. I can't study now. We'll study in the morning. That's the right time. So children, no, never do that again. The right time is the time now, because the after time, the coming time is not in your hands. Okay? So the king was told by the hermit that the right time is the present time. You don't need a timetable. You don't need somebody counsel's help to decide what is the right time. You don't need anything like that. Whatever is important at the present time, whatever comes in your friend, what all things you come to you, at that time, you have to find an answer to that question then and there. You don't keep it for the next day. Okay? The most necessary person is the person you are with at a particular moment. And what is the most important person? You don't have to find a priest. You don't have to find astrologers. You don't have to find doctors. Whoever is with you, whoever is in need, whoever is helping you, they are the most important person. Okay, and the most important business is to do that person good. Understood? The important business, the third question was that, no, what is the most important thing? The most important thing is doing that man who is near you, who is in need of you, good is the right business to be done. So all the three questions is answered. First question's answer is, what is the most important time? Now, present time is the most important time. You don't go for future, you don't go for the past, you live in the present. Most important thing. And most important person is the person who is next to you, who is in need of you, who comes for your help. That is the most important. And the most important business is whatever good things you are doing to a person who is in need. That is the most important business. Because we were sent into this world for that purpose alone. So with that, I come to the end of this story. And it was a pretty good story. Hope you all understood. Give me the feedback of this lesson. Whatever doubts you have, you clear it with me, since my phone number will be there. There with you, I am sure everybody will have it. Okay? That we come to the end of this lesson. Most probably I will do the question answers, right? And I leave an assignment. And that assignment is and I know you all will be not so happy with the assignments, but my assignment is a peculiar one. Find out the different ways of how the kings are greeted in different countries. See, Alampana, some calls like that. Some have different ways. Just find out 3 different ways of the king being greeted. Okay? Thank you, children. It's me, Rishmi, signing off. Bye.